Now then, Shaggers, this is part 3 of Systematically Getting Jacked for Grappling, Nutrition Edition. If you're a grappler who wants to get leaner, stronger, and perform better on the mat, this should be the only nutrition guide you need without turning into fish and a rice cake, a chicken and rice meal prepper all day. And I used to be a big boy, 140 kilos. I put a photo here of me looking like a mess. I was big, I was slow, I was always injured, and I've been down to my lowest of about 85 kilos. I'm going to go over some of the things I've learned going through that journey as well. So today's video is showing you how to build your own nutrition plan for combat sports. Let's start here. This is the importance pyramid. Most people like to jump straight to supplements. But the truth is, honestly, none of that matters unless you're ticking the boxes at the bottom. So going from top to bottom, as you can see here, we have quantity of food. So this is your calories and macros, which are king. Next up is quantity. So your whole foods, your fruit, your veg, and your water intake. Next up is meal timing. I am going to go through pre and post nutrition for you today, but this could also be meal times, carbohydrate intake, or even adjusting your calories on training and rest days. So here is exactly what you need to actually calculate your calories and macros without needing an app. I'm going to use a 100 kilo big boy as an example for this. So we've got a big boy, step one, we're going to times his body weight, 100. Let's just say his activity is average. So we times it by 23, which gives us a number of 2,300. And let's say this big boy trains 5 times per week. So we take that number, 2,300, and times it by 1.55, which gives us a number of about 3,565 to be precise. And let's just say he wants to go through a muscle gaining phase. So we would add somewhere between 5 to 20% extra calories on top of that to put him into a surplus. Let's just say for his sake, we add 300 calories, which gives us 3,865 calories to play with. So how do we set his macros? First things first, we'll set his protein. We're just going to keep it nice and simple. 100 kilos times 2, which gives us 200 grams of protein per day. We times that by 4, and that gives us 800 calories. Next up is fats. So again, we'll just keep it simple. We'll set his fats at, for every 1 kilo, 1 gram. So we just do body weight in kilograms times 1, which again is 100. 100 times 9 equals 900. So he would be getting 900 calories from fat. And then lastly is the calories remaining would go towards his carbohydrate intake. Calories remaining is about 2,165. So if we divide that by 4, that gives us about 500 grams of carbs to play with per day. Again, with these, they are just targets, not commandments. We want to adjust based on energy, hunger, and also body comp changes. Next up, with your nutrition, we just want to keep it nice and simple. Aim for 3 to 5 servings of veg a day, 3 to 5 servings of fruit a day. And then for every 25 kilos of body weight, let's aim for 1 litre of water. So 100 kilo big boy, he is going to be aiming for 4 litres of water. Arguably, we'd also want to add another litre for his training as well. So somewhere between 4 to 5 litres per day. Again, this isn't fancy, but it's often the thing people ignore. And you definitely don't need a detox. You probably just need some fucking fibre and some water. Now, next up is meal timings. So somewhere between 3 to 5 meals per day is a bit of a sweet spot. If you wanted to eat more on your training days and eat less on your rest days, here's a simple way of doing it. We've got an example up on screen right now where we just add 10% calories to your training day. For this example, you have 2,500 calories. We would be adding 250 calories. We would then add that up over the training days. For example, this one on here is 3 days. So that's 750 calories. We would then just distribute the calories on the non-training days. So for this person here at 2,500 calories, we add 10% to his training days, which puts him at 2,750, which means his rest days would be around 2,300. Again, you don't have to do this, but if you feel like you need a bit more energy on your training days, it's something you can utilize. Again, we want to be fueling our hard sessions. So if you've got a hard session, it's not a bad idea to fuel yourself up and then keep your rest days tidy. There's never no need to overcomplicate this stuff. You really, really don't. If you really, really wanted to fuel up for your sessions, something you can do the night before is carb load. So on your regular carb days, you're looking for somewhere between 3.5 to 6.5 grams per kilogram. But the night before your big session, you could aim for somewhere between 5 to 8 grams per kilo. So again, somebody who's 100 kilos, we're looking for somewhere between 500 to 800 grams before a big session. And then when it comes to the game day, you can go out there and fucking perform. Now, pre and post nutrition. I'm going to use something I stole off Liam, who's a nutritionist at Marchon, and it's called the 30-90 method or the 90-30 method, depending on the pre or post. But pre-training, we're pretty much looking at hydration, timing, and fueling. Intra-training, don't worry about too much. Just do the basics. And then post-training, we're looking at rebuilding, refueling, and rehydrating. So what is the 30-90 method? And how do we apply it to pre-workout nutrition? The 30-90 method is as simple as this. If it's pre-workout, we want to try consume something 90 minutes before training and then 30 minutes before training. And the reason why is we want to make sure you're hydrated for the session. We want to prevent you from underfueling for the training session and also stop you overeating close to the session. Again, some of the common faults I see with pre-workout nutrition is not eating enough, eating too much, or eating too little, or just sometimes consuming the wrong thing. So when it comes to pre-workout nutrition, we want to make sure we're eating the right things. Stuff that are easy to digest, are carb-rich and low in fiber, and also balanced fat and protein. If you do train first thing in the morning, you maybe want to sack the 90 minutes off and just do the 30 minutes. Some examples of snack or meal ideas could be bananas and nuts, apples and Baby Bell cheese, a yogurt oat pot, a porridge pot, rice cakes with jam and butter, like nut butter, even stuff like bowls of cereal, a chicken wrap, or you can even utilize bars like Saurine, Squares bars, Nature Valley oat bars. We just want to get something in us quick that is going to give us energy. Now, 30 minutes pre-workout. Again, we don't want to be eating the wrong thing and we don't want to be eating too close to the session. The closer we get to our session, the more liquid-based it wants to be. You need to drink fucking water. And it's optional to add some electrolytes, carbohydrates, or even potentially protein. But the main principles are it's liquid-based, it should improve hydration, and depending on the session, we can add carbs and protein. So some examples could be as simple as water and electrolytes, or even water and a caffeine drink, something like a Monster or something like that. If you wanted a bit more carbohydrates, we could use something like a sports drink, like a Lucozade Sport. When would you add protein? If it's more strength-based or bodybuilding style type of training. And if you are training first thing in the morning. And if you also struggle to hit your protein targets across the day. Make it easy for yourself. When it comes to training fasted, there's nothing wrong with it, and I have done it before. But I would look at always fueling your training sessions. When you fuel your training sessions, you're going to be able to give more in that session. Now, post-workout, we just swap over the 90-30 to 30-90. We want to try consume something within 30 minutes and then within 90 minutes. We want to make sure you are hydrated post-session. We want to kickstart the recovery process. And we want to start stimulating repair and replenishment. Again, just keep it simple. Within the 30-minute window, look for something liquid-based, something that rehydrates you, and add carbs and protein if needed. If you remember back in the day, there used to be something called the anabolic window. And people thought your muscles would fall off if you didn't consume protein within 30 minutes of a session. So, do you need a shake after a workout? In short, no, but I think it helps if you have trained fasted. If you find that your recovery is poor, you struggle to eat your protein across the day, or if you're going to be training twice per day as well. And lastly, if you're going to be struggling to eat a meal within 90 minutes. So I would just keep it nice and simple. Have a shake after a session. Really, really simple. But your non-negotiables should always be some water as well. And then add some carbs if you are trying to gain muscle, if you've trained for over 2 hours, or if you're going to be training again later that day. And again, the anabolic window, it's not a myth. It's just a pretty large window. But make it simple for yourself and just consume some protein and carbs post-workout. Now, the 90-minute post. Some of the common faults I see here is people delay the intake. They eat poor quality food. So let's not delay this. The principles here is we're looking for a solid meal to start the repair and aim for repair. We want balanced macros with slightly higher carbs, and it wants to be nutrient dense. I'll bang a load of meal ideas up here, but it can just be simple things like overnight oats, eggs and bagels, chicken pasta pesto, chili con carne and rice. Tons of things up here to keep it nice and simple for you. You can literally print screen this and use it whenever. So an example day, let's just say this 100 kilo big boy trains at 10 a.m. Around 8:30 a.m., we'd probably go for some oats and protein pre-training. And again, 30 minutes with water and a can of goth juice. Let's say he grapples at 10 a.m. Within 30 minutes, we could follow that up with some chocolate milk, maybe a protein bar, or we could go for a protein shake and some fruit. And within 90 minutes, we can look for a meal, such as, let's just say, chicken and rice, because it's easy right now. Then we could eat around 2 p.m. again. Again, a meal based around some protein, carbs, fats, veg, and fruit. Then around 6 p.m., we could have some veg and some wraps. And then literally 8:30 p.m., we could probably have some yogurt and berries. And that's just an example day right there. So yeah, when it comes to your nutrition, don't major in the minors. Just reinforce the pyramid. And again, this is what helped me go from 140 kilos down to around 85 kilos at my lightest, and I hover around 90 kilos now. And again, if it does help, please tickle my balls. Comment on the video. And if you want some goodies, I will plug them in the description below. I'm looking at adding an education and nutrition series you can just watch. And I'll also add a ton of guides in the description as well around pre and post nutrition, training, workout guides, and so on and so on. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you that watches these videos, and keep getting jacked and grappling, bastards. Enjoy. Have a good day.